Hey Shakers, we're here today with Erik Mitisek, CEO of Colorado Technology Association. Erik, thanks for joining the Handshakin video series.
Indeed.
So to start us off, could you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure. So I'm a born, raised, never left Colorado native. Don't have any plans on leaving until the end. And I've tried to do a lot of different things throughout my career, but everything has always kept me anchored here in Colorado. And currently, I'm focused on trying to define and help Colorado become the technology hub between the coasts.
Yes. Great, me too. I think that's why we're here in Colorado. It's just one of the best places to play around in the tech startup circles. Could you walk us through a little bit of your career, kind of when you first identified your entrepreneurial interest and what you did about that, and how you got there from all the way to where we are here in the Commons on Champa today, and what you're doing with Colorado Technology Association?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think the reason I wanted to do this is, we both share something in common, which is the University of Denver. And at DU, I would say my entrepreneurial activity really started to take part. It was my freshman year. I started a business, probably much like a lot of freshmen do, and I was fortunate enough that it paid for majority of my school. And my senior year, I ended up selling it to some incoming freshmen. And
wow!
I think that cycle of activity at DU kind of got me hooked on the idea of doing it myself. I spent a little bit of time in a Big 5 consulting firm, but really just got the entrepreneurial bug right after that. First venture, I joined a couple founders, and we built at the time what would be a modern day Pandora in 2000. Learned a lot about music and the law as it relates to streaming music and bandwidth, and it's a really great experience. And I went on to join a couple other founders and was a part of the founding team, kind of early executives at Exclusive Resorts here in town, which is a really great company that's still a Revolution-based business here in Colorado. And then my last two businesses, I was CEO, and then my last one was venture-backed in the travel space. And so I just kind of have been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for called the greater part of the last 15 years, and I love helping, building, driving company growth here in Colorado.
That's awesome. So, when we met, I noticed you've built your own entrepreneurial communities. So let's go ahead and move into the first topic of community. Before you created communities like the Commons on Champa here, how did you use communities, or what was the first community you joined to further your entrepreneurial interest?
Sure. Yeah. I would say about 4 years ago, the entrepreneurial community, especially here in Denver, really started to take shape. At the time, Denver New Tech Meetup was kind of the core event. There's a couple others. One's Refresh Denver, as well as Denver Founders, which was doing a great job. And I would say I really call them kind of the first core meetups we had as we kind of came out of the last technology cycle, and they were doing really, really great work. And I think what you've seen over the course of the last 4 years is a lot of very great programs be developed by the community that include things like Denver Startup Week. They include things like Women Who Code. They include things like a lot of the Million Cups, and I would say some of the other programs that have come into our ecosystem to help drive engagement and networking. And we've got a lot of really good stuff happening right now. And I feel blessed that our community is so excited to program great things and join great communities like Built in Colorado.
Yeah. So what would you recommend, where should an aspiring entrepreneur look if they're seeking a community to help them start up?
Sure. I would always start with Built in Colorado. I think today the community is almost over 12,000 community-led entrepreneurs. I think being involved in anything around the Denver Startup Week activity is a really big opportunity. I think this year will be over 10,000 attendees.
Wow. And
it's grown organically, and just with 3 programs, it'll be our 4th program, from nothing to over 10,000 folks wanting to talk and engage about entrepreneurship. Get involved in the Blackstone Entrepreneur Network. Of course, get involved in our organization, the Colorado Technology Association, and I would follow a handful of really great things online. I think Denver Founders is doing really, really great work. board. They continue to lead a really, really strong group. I think New Tech and here in Denver, they continue to grow and develop, and especially with their freelancer product, do some really great things and get involved in verticals that are really valuable to you. I think today, when you look in the walls of a Galvanize or a Shift Workspaces, or you're here at the Commons, there's something for everyone as it relates to opportunities around entrepreneurship. And I would just find that thing you're passionate about and go really deep on it.
Great. So, a lot of what we're hearing here on the Handshakin video series is our past guests say it's very valuable to join a community of entrepreneurs like what we've been discussing, but then they also say it's important to join a community in your startup's industry. What would you have to say, where should entrepreneurs look for those?
Again, I think Built-In does a really great job. I think when you look at things like Meetup, Meetup's probably the best place to look across a whole broad section of industries, whether it's wanting to get involved with people involved that are developing companies of oil and gas or healthcare or digital tech or distilling or craft brewing. I mean, I think all those things here exist in Denver, and there's groups really rallying and meeting around those things. I think there's really great organizations in town that can help connect those pieces, and those are like, whether it be the Downtown Denver Partnership, specifically in downtown Denver, or great industry groups that are doing really, really good work specifically in those industries, whether it be oil and gas or healthcare, things like that. So there's an ample amount of opportunities to get involved in Denver.
Yeah. So I think that's a great conclusion, Shakers. Let's take what Erik has to say and join a community. And Meetup.com is, we're seeing from multiple guests, is one of the best places for you to join a community. In fact, they should sponsor us. Meetup, will you sponsor us? Shakers, should we have Meetup sponsor us? I think they should sponsor us. Great. So let's go on to topic number 2, and that's, how did you get feedback from experts on a difficult question you asked as an entrepreneur early in your career? When you thought they wouldn't email you back, how did you get in front of them?
Yeah, I think feedback comes everywhere. I mean, I think the greatest entrepreneurs, they're constantly trying to assess feedback, whether they're in a line at Starbucks grabbing a coffee, or whether they have the chance to run into some of our great venture capital leaders like Brad Feld or Frank Mendocino or Kyle Lefkoff. And so I think in that spectrum of feedback, great entrepreneurs find it everywhere, and everyone can give different components of feedback. And so I think being persistent with the folks that you really are want their feedback and input is really important. But I think more importantly, starting the relationship with something that you're giving them. If you expect to get some feedback or some valuable insight that is going to benefit you, it's always best to start off those relationships by giving them something.
Yes.
And so, it's different for everybody. But I think being kind and leading with a mentality of how can I help them, I think will be really successful.
Yeah, pay it forward, Shakers. Listen to Erik when he says you can get people's attention by learning about them first and seeing how you can help them out first. Keep your emails or LinkedIn messages concise, and be persistent. That's a great one. So have you ever reached so high to someone, again, perhaps earlier in your career, where they just wouldn't email you back, they wouldn't respond? And maybe you had to try again in a year or two, or maybe you had to research what events they'd go to or hosted. Do you have any experiences like that you could share with us?
I would give the same advice. I mean, I think those who want to help people make themselves available. So if someone's not making themselves available, they probably are not someone that has a lot of interest in helping.
Yeah.
The ones who are speaking on panels, the ones who are mentoring in programs, the ones who are meeting with founders and CEOs, the ones who are speaking at universities, they're doing it because they care. And they're doing it because they want to help. Wow. And so I think targeting the ones that will make themselves available is always the easiest path. And the ones that are elusive, that you think may have great advice, may not have the interest in helping not just you, but a lot of other folks. And so I think I would always find opportunities and feedback where they're given, not where you think you want them.
That's a great knowledge bomb, Shakers. That's the first time we've had a guest illustrate that you need to target the experts that are open to giving feedback. And don't spin your wheels too hard seeking those that don't want to give back to the community. And of course, here in Colorado, I'd like to think there's a lot of people that are willing to pay it forward, but not everyone is. And it's important not to waste your time on those. And like we said with the first part of this question, is keep it concise and be persistent. Great knowledge bomb, Erik. Thank you. So I think anything else with feedback from experts and customers and just feedback everywhere?
Just do it. Never stop.
Execute. Love it. So let's go ahead and move on to the last topic, Shakers. And we're going to ask Erik, how important is it to build personal relationships with your professional mentors? And what does that look like?
I don't really delineate between mentor and personal relationship, and I mean, it seems like the best mentors naturally become friends. I mean, when I think of the mentor relationships and those who've helped me in my career, it's never been about a business thing first. It's been about a common interest in sports. It's been about a common interest in education or knowledge. It's been about something we shared in our careers in the past. Those things have always been the trigger to get involved or engage with one another.
Yeah.
And then business has always been secondary. And so I don't really separate friendship and mentorship. I think if you have a really great mentor, it's almost natural that you become friends. And it's natural that, you build trust and empathy and all those things to be a great mentor, and the same things you build in a friendship. And so I don't really separate the two. And I think just, by seeking to be a great friend, you'll probably end up with some really great mentor relationships.
Yeah, that's great. I agree. I think once you find what it is that you want to do in life, and you can make it professional and make it a full-time job, make it a startup. I completely agree with you, Erik, that I think it is natural. But I do think you have to find what it is exactly that you want to do, and you have to know exactly where the ship's going that you're steering. What do you think? Is it possible to bring that as close personal if you are still trying to figure out your startup, if your idea is still pivoting? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that entrepreneurship to me has always been around relationships, and I think you're going to seek out knowledge from folks where you know that it probably lives. And so for me, I just think it's really important to build those personal relationships, and I think you're going to build trust, which is going to build confidence that even the feedback you're getting is great. And so, I wish I had more to add there. I just think great mentorships usually come out of a really candid business relationship from the beginning.
Yes. Now I really liked what you said right there about entrepreneurship is about relationships, and it just shows so clearly when we're here at the Commons and you can see the Denver Downtown Partnership, CTA, Colorado Technology Association, and of course the City and County of Denver. It's great to kind of hear you speak on the importance of relationships when we see those on the signs here. But I really like that quote you said. Can you say it again for the camera?
Sure, indeed. I think that it's best as entrepreneurs to always seek knowledge where it lives. And I don't know if that's that profound, but I think from a mentor perspective, it's easy to sometimes seek someone out who may not have deep expertise in an area because they're great at a bunch of things that are related, but finding those folks who really have core expertise, you'll find the best nuggets of opportunity. See,
that's a big reason I wanted to launch this video series, is I believe connecting with experts and mentors, whatever you want to call them, people, and knowing exactly why you're talking to that person is the quickest and best way to get the most qualified information for your startup. What do you think?
The quickest and best way. Yeah, I mean, I think I've always, in my experience, I've always wanted to lead with product. And so if you have something that's interesting to talk about and you have an opportunity that is worthy of something that's new, people who are inclined to help entrepreneurs naturally will engage with you. And so I think, staying sharp on what you're trying to build, it's truly unique. People will naturally give you feedback.
Cool. So, well, I think that's great for mentors. We really touched on some great points with that. Let's go ahead and move on to what's one action item that an aspiring entrepreneur can do immediately after or maybe even during this video that's going to push them an inch closer to success related to personal relationships, if that was going to run on.
Yeah, I would make it really simple. I would just do something today, even if it's wrong, even if it doesn't work, just do something today. Mm-hmm. It's something that any of the projects I've been involved with, sometimes you get stuck just pontificating and thinking about what the opportunity is, and even if it's a small thing, even if it's just putting a handful of notes in Evernote, if it's picking up the phone call and calling that one person you think might be able to help you, if it's registering a domain, just do something, and do something again tomorrow, and do something again tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you'll have something.
Yes.
So that would be the only advice I would give.
Yes. Execution, Shakers. Do something today, even if it's wrong. Just do it right now. X out this video. All right, great, Erik. So we're almost done with our interview here, but we launched something called Shaker Trivia. And we're going to ask you a few very more personal questions. So maybe you could answer 3 questions for us. What's the wallpaper on your phone?
The wallpaper on my phone. It's black.
Just like your outfit.
Just like my outfit.
Black Stallion, The Dark Knight. Okay, who's the last person who you talked to on the phone?
Whoa, we're getting, this is crazy. Let's look. A call to my wife.
Good, good. And what's the most exciting thing that happened to you this week?
We had the founder of LinkedIn in the office, and kicking out the new partnership for the state of Colorado around helping divide and drive talent here in the state.
Sweet. That's awesome. Cool. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for your time interviewing. It was
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Cool.